Drake here.
And Bo.
It's 2 hoodies and 3 cats, and we're back in Hangover Gangland. So, if you're here, you know what time it is. We've been talking about Nova Rockafeller and all different kinds of aspects of the different side of Tom McDonald and so forth. And mental health was a big topic that we've been covering on the channel. And Bone really doesn't have a lot of experience on this side of the Hangover Gang. And I would probably get a bunch of people saying that there's a couple other tracks I should start you with her, but because we were talking about the fact of just live, off-the-cuff vocals and backing tracks and how they come across and to see how they are, that's why I picked this track.
All
right?
Check it out.
We're just going to start.
It's interesting comic panels they have.
Yeah, the comic book background on this caught my attention immediately, and you'll So here we go. And if you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. Hit subscribe, hit like, comment below. Let us know where we should take Bone or where I should go next.
I got money in the bank, kinda nerfed on a plane. Wake up in Jamaica, no need to explain. Plans by the second, cause I'm fucking insane. And I'm never throwing money when I'm making it rain. I had a lot of boyfriends, but they were never stable. Late night arguing, so mad I'm throwing tables. Taught myself to read, I've been a genius since cradle. Lone Star team of misfits, Clark Gable. Skeletons in closets, let him watch Kilo. Y'all don't wanna fuck with me, a real black widow. Piss me off, I'm swinging, I don't give a fuck, lit out. All my competition getting smothered with a pillow. Schizophrenic, like Sid Barrett, long gone. Edgar Allan Poe, screaming Reynolds, home one. Hit division, I'm 100 by 3, never ending. You want it, you don't want it with me, cause I'm
Sid Barrett?
Sid Barrett, you catch that?
I sure did.
And then it's like instant hard. Like, it's just like, oh my word. The lyric, the rhyme scheme, and the subject, and the schizophrenic, like Sid Barrett, and there's just so much to unpack in that first verse.
I wonder if a lot of the people know who Sid Barrett is.
The people that are in her genre, I don't think so.
Well, it's interesting, the topic, if you're talking about schizophrenia. Sid Barrett was a founding member of Pink Floyd. He was the writer, the initial writer of a lot of the early songs. If you were to listen to things like Stuff on the Wall or From Dark Side of the Moon, that was Pink Floyd after they developed a few years later into a different band with a lot of the same members. But Sid Barrett suffered from some mental issues accompanied with overuse of certain psychedelic drugs to where he just disappeared and died, in 2005, I think. But he was a generational talent.
Yeah.
That guy.
And
she sounds like she's a little bit angry in this one.
Do you want to hear any of that again?
No, keep going.
Okay. I'm gonna back it up just a little bit because she's about to go into the hook. There we go.
division, I'm 100 by 3, never ending. You want it, you don't want it with me, cause I'm a problem. I'm not red too tight. Head on back, who's been up all night. I'm kinda on one, so I live my life. Mama warned you about me like once or twice. You want a problem? I got problems. You want a problem? I got problems. I'm a problem. So you think you got problems? Y'all don't know shit, I dumb fucks with conundrums. And I continuum kid and that's quantum. And I make it fun of me instead me I run them. Hold up, my shit all in disorder. Writing on the wall and got me shaking in the corner. Oh no, don't let me be committed. My head twisted, everybody says I'm gifted. Nova says no, but Rockafeller said yes. Keep the Martians out, I got a foil head dress. How I mean to say things say themselves. I can't help it, I'm releasing my doubt. Worry about self, I'ma get mine. Y'all praise God, I turn my blood into wine. Walk all over water and turn back time. Why are you talking shit? I'm about to blow your mind. Cause I'm a problem, I'm not red too tight.
That was a little messianic complex there. Just gonna turn blood into wine. Shit.
Is that crazy or what?
But maybe to turn their wine into blood.
But the beginning of that, when she's like, I got a shingling disorder, I'm shaking in the corner. Did you catch
Shingles
that?
Or
what does she say there? It's
Bottom me, instead me, I run them.
beginning of this verse.
Oh, so you think you got problems? Y'all don't know shit. I dumb fucks with conundrums. And I continue them, kid, and that's quantum. And I make it bottom me instead, me, I run them. Hold up, my shit in disorder. Writing on the wall and got me shaking in the corner.
Shinling disorder? Shinling?
I can't. It's difficult to understand what she's saying.
My shit in disorder. Writing on the and I continue them, kid, and that's quantum. And I make it bottom me instead, me, I run them. Hold up, my shit in disorder. Writing on the wall and got me shaking in the corner. Oh, no, don't let me be committed. My head twisted. Everybody says I'm gifted. Nova says no, but Rockafeller said yes. Keep the Martians out, I got a foil headdress. How I mean to say things say themselves. I can't help it, I'm releasing my doubt. Worry about self, I'ma get mine. Y'all praise God, I turn my blood into wine. Walk all over water and turn back time. Why you talking shit? I'm about to blow your mind. Cause I'm a problem, I'm not rap too tight. Head on back, who's been up all night. I'm kinda on one, so I live my life. Mama warned you about me like once or twice. You want a problem? I got problems. You want a problem? I got problems. I'm a problem.
So,
So you're saying this is live because it doesn't seem like it's live to me.
this is like, I think she's got a backing track going, but she's doing this straight up on one take.
I could be wrong, but it seems like some of the things are just a millisecond off vocally. But I could be wrong.
So the last verse is where you get into, like, she talked about the earlier part in the song where she's like, you know, I'm sitting in the corner, shaking in the corner, and you want to have me committed and all this kind of stuff. And it's talking about how she's dealing with voices in her head and all that kind of stuff. It gets really kind of interesting next. The regular track on this, you hear a bunch of stuff in the background, and some of it you hear, and then she's trying to create the effect with the way she does the vocals in this next set. Is pretty interesting.
Okay.
I woke up on a sofa bed. Voices in my head, voices in my head. Yo, you know I'm off my meds. Voices in my head, voices in my head. Now I think what they said. Voices in my head, voices in my head. But I don't think they're my friends. Voices in my head, voices in my head. Hey Nova, I know that you can hear this. Everybody's looking and they think that you weird, bitch. You can medicate me, but I'll stay here in the shadow. 4 bananas, 2 apples, 1 more avocado. Why you putting numbers in my head? I live under your bed. No wonder I'm on meds. Nova, 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 this shit is fucking boring. Shut the fuck up, can't you see that I'm recording? I'm a problem, I'm not rap too tight. Head on back, it's been up all night. I'm kinda on one, so I live my life. Mama warned you about me like once or twice. You want a problem? I got problems. You want a problem? I got problems. I'm a problem.
So is that live? Is that supposed to be live?
That was supposed to be a one take live shot.
It just does, I don't know. It's like if you notice in the Red video, it's like you could tell that the angle of his voice is changing, and the dynamic of her, you know, backing up off the mic. It's like you don't hear it at all. So if that is live, it's very well done.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a live track, and the other track is the other one that I showed you before we started the video. That is we didn't watch it, but the other video I showed you is the official music video that came out through Def Jam or whatever label she was on at the time.
Yeah, she's got a lot of heart, man, and a lot of passion for what she does, and a talent. I mean,
she does a lot of short-based music clips with some really interesting video work and subject matter, but it's like boom, in and out, like very quick and in. And then I don't know of any tracks that she's done that is like super long, like going, like what we saw with Ren. And Tom has a couple tracks that are really kind of just, they're like a production, to put it mildly.
well, I think the idea behind a shorter song is that it makes you want to hear it again.
Yeah, it's like, hey, let's play that again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the part in that where she does that, kind of turns her head and does the scream with the hey, the kind of thing. And then I like some of the rhyme play, like in the second verse when she talks about the full headdress that you'd wear
Yeah.
in case you're trying
Yeah,
to
that was
protect
nice.
yourself from aliens. And then she's talking about tings say themselves, like it would be like ting, ting, ting off there. I saw that on somebody else and pointed that out in a video I watched. I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty
I
interesting.
liked how the voices in her head were messing with her while she's doing her song.
It's like
She's
they're
like,
all
I'm
talking to
recording
her.
right now. I mean, just give it a rest.
And but she's sitting there like I did the voices. I don't think they're my friends.
Yeah.
And it's strange because there are people that walk around all the time and they deal with that voice in their head and they don't know how to quiet it.
No, I had a friend for years. He was a phenomenal musician. He could play trumpet, bass, guitar, sing. He was a DJ for the guy was phenomenal. He had been asked to join bands that you've heard of. And the whole time I knew him since he was 15. I was probably 16 or 17. He said his grandpa was sitting in the room with him, talking to him. The whole time I knew him, because I moved away, and then I talked to him years later. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and no one knew.
Oh,
He just kept it to himself. I mean, we were all weird, so he wasn't any more weird than any of us. But it's like, I can't imagine what it would be like. Because I've had certain points in my life where certain traumatic things build up, and there's this stress on the brain where you can feel your brain fragmenting a little bit.
So
But never nothing like that.
the schizophrenia thing gets thrown around a lot. That's where you actually is that like split personality disorder,
Different thing.
or
As far
that's
as-
where
I'm not
you
an expert.
have like another whole side of you.
It's I believe schizophrenia, because I think the bipolar side is more misinterpreting things. There's a little bit more paranoia involved. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but schizophrenia, at least talking to him, someone who has it, who was diagnosed with having it, he would literally see people he knew, in the room with him, talking to him, like they're there. And he was also, in some ways, he would get really nervous around certain people, and so he would want to flee certain situations. But
That's
I think what was the thing you asked about?
I was just asking if the schizophrenia and split personality
Yeah,
disorder
split
was, like-
personality is more so where, again, not an expert, where the trauma is so big that that severs and you become someone completely different. And sometimes it's most,
It's like-
and some people say it's not real.
it's like compartmentalizing.
Yes, like you might
and you're
become a
just
child,
like
there might be
that's like something else, and
right.
then
There could be a really aggressive part of you,
and
a really
some-
submissive part.
some type of trigger
Yes,
sends you into an episode, and that part comes out.
part of your personality or part of is buried while this.
And
one's
then what's
particularly
crazy
dominant.
is that those people that deal with that, when they have those episodes, they don't even they're disconnected from it, and they don't even have a memory of that.
I
part.
believe that's what this.
in
what
some
the,
cases it's
what's said, but it's difficult to know unless you. I've never met anyone like that, and I've read certain things.
there's
watched
a
things.
there's a lot of people today, and a lot of younger people today that have, for lack of a better term, coping skills. They have issues with coping skills.
Lack thereof.
Massive lack of ability to cope, and it goes back to some people are medicated with is it Xanax or
You're talking about just general psychotropic drugs, or
the stuff that the mood stabilizer drug is it
you're talking
Xanax?
about lithium?
Well, no, I think
Because you have lithium and you have Nardil, Ritalin.
Ritalin they don't use as much anymore, but there's Xanax and something else. There were two, and one of them is something that I work with people that take them on a regular basis just to be able to function on a day. And sometimes they're like, I need to take
I guess Xanax is
another bar. It's Xanax, something where it's a bar and you can cut it in half, or
Yeah,
a
the
quarter
Z-bar.
bar. Yeah, so it's Xanax, and you have these people that are like, they have to take it just to be even keeled.
Yeah, I believe Jordan Peterson was on that for a while.
I would say that it goes back to the answer is medicating. We don't want to try to fix whatever the problem is or diagnose how that started or what the problem is. We're just going to medicate. And we've talked many times on other subjects of the fact that large problems with the way that people deal with problems and other issues is they don't attack the cause of the problem. They attack the symptoms.
Right.
So let's fix the symptom and not worry about how we got here. And if we go back and look to see why we have the problem and how we got to the problem and where the mental health problem started, was it this person actually had the problem, or was it something genetic that got passed down, or was there something traumatic that happened that got buried in the past, or
I would say it's an over reliance on drugs that oftentimes or potentially can come at a higher cost.
They
than the price
amplify
someone would pay
problems
without it.
in other areas.
Right.
And I think a lot of
It's
times
a delicate dance, man.
I just feel like that as being somebody when I was younger, the ADD and the Ritalin, ADHD and all that. When I was younger, it was called hyperactivity. And I don't even think, my parents never put me on Ritalin. My mom was not much for medicating her children. But there was stuff that they tried it for a very minimal amount of time, and mom's like, no, we're not doing that. But I watched friends of mine that got put on that stuff. And you're just like, it's like you're shutting down part of their brain. It's like you're taking the creative and the part of your brain that you're like, where you're in your head and you're creating and you're having your talk in your head and you're working things out, and when you have like imagination inside of your brain and where your creative side, and you basically just put a wet blanket on it.
Right. Well, it's difficult to tell because there's so many different drugs, there's so many different people. It's difficult to tell what parts of the brain are affected without knowing the science, which I don't. But having taken them myself, for example, I took Wellumbreacher for a while, and it just made everything like. I took Ritalin for a while, and it was like the opposite. It had the opposite effect on me, to where we could take Ritalin, I would take Ritalin or whatever, and do all my schoolwork for the whole day.
You'd be like
it was like it didn't necessarily make me hyper, but it just made me more. It was the opposite effect.
It's like there's got to be ways to. Every person is different. Every situation is unique, and they have blanketed prescription. This is what we're gonna do, and there's got to be a better way to handle it.
I think diet plays a lot.
And the lack
There's
of
so
diet.
many factors, right? Because if you look at it, right, what are the influences that have been going on in society? Because look, when you said back in your day they called it hyperactivity, and I thought to myself, 100 years ago they called it childhood.
Yeah.
100 years ago they called it, oh, that's a boy.
That's
Or,
just
that's
the
a
way
girl,
kids
you
are,
know what I
boys
mean?
are. Oh, but you can't do that now.
And so with the advent of television, right, people start to distance themselves from the responsibility or from interacting, and then the mother's being taken out of the home. I mean, there's so much societally that plays into all of this.
The responsibility. And you have so many single parent homes, or the one parent, like when I was younger, my dad worked a lot, or he would take trips and he wasn't home all the time, so my mom was stuck doing stuff. Then you get a generation beyond that, and you have both parents are working now, and there's either a babysitter at home or the kids are at home to their own vices in front of a TV or a video game machine. And then you get a little bit further where you're just single parents everywhere, and they're trading kids back and forth,
right.
and they're doing babysitters and daycare and everything else, and the kid is being trained by whatever TV show you parked him in front of.
Right. 200 years ago,
there was no
the
TV
children
shows.
were with the parents. Like there wasn't a job in a factory. I mean, maybe a little longer than 200 years ago, but you had like the children would be out milking the cows, they'd be out in the field
or wherever,
tending to all these different things, learning trades, learning how to interact.
And
it's like now we've all gone internally, and then
when I was a kid, we had TV, but we weren't in the house we weren't in the house until it was dark.
Yeah.
When it was dark, that's when we were in the house. Otherwise, we're outside. Now today, there's very few children that are outside.
Well,
they're
think about it.
all on a phone or a video game.
Well, think about it. I mean, you could blame. I mean, people could point the finger at phones and say, but this is just a symptom. Because consider this, right? When we were running around, going throughout the neighborhood, going into the woods and doing all these things, as the suburban areas started to grow larger and those places disappear, right? And then you have this man. When we were. They didn't think twice about letting an 8-year-old go up to the store to get cigarettes when we were young. I did it.
When I was young,
but then children
ride my bike down a busy road to a 7-Eleven and buy a Coke, some candy, and a comic book and ride home.
But then children started to disappear.
Yeah.
And so I would never let my child out in the yard.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
The situation now is so different.
The darkness encroaching You know, and now we're going to have this little AI bubble that everyone's going to be living in. And it's been going this way for 250 years.
It's like they've decided they've slowly been taking us out of the ability to adventure in the world and
Yep.
get us in our boxes. There's a while we're in Hangover Gang video here, there's a Tom McDonald track where you've watched it. It was Fake Woke.
Yeah.
Where he's talking about, you know, they use the racism card to divide everybody, but then they try to act like it's not there, and we divide ourselves up in boxes. And he does this piece in that video where he moves the screen aside, and there's two boxes that slide aside, and the reference I get there is that we're all behind a video screen. We're all behind a computer or a phone or a tablet, and we're all somewhere else in our own little box. We're all, our houses or our apartments or our cubicles, wherever it is, have
Right.
become our own prison cells. And we are all slaves to a debt system that we have to work every day of to pay our bills to be able to have that little box that we exist in.
Right.
And I did a video that I haven't uploaded yet, but I got to post it soon. I was talking in that about the fact that we all have ideas of what we want to be when we're young. And then the reality is, as we get older and life kind of sinks in, and we're not going to be whatever that thing was. We're not going to be that astronaut, or we're not going to be the president, or
Right.
we're not going to be that
acceptance.
whatever. We accept where we're at, and we get content, and we get into our spot. But that kid, that child that had that vision is still in here. It's just buried under reality and all the heartache and the disappointment and everything else. And some of us just learn that that's part of life. And there's a whole section of the reality of life right now, the real world, that they're not able to handle the fact that, wait, I don't get to have any of the things that I wanted as a kid. None of that. I don't get any of it.
Yeah, that's an interesting turn. Society.
That's where it's at. That's the disconnect. If you think about it.
That's
Because
bizarre.
it goes, yeah, we could talk about this for hours. But, yeah, so this was Problem by Nova, and this song puts me in the whole mental health and gets me talking about all this kind of stuff, so I thought this was a pretty great conversation. If you guys like the video, hit like, hit subscribe. Suggest some stuff for Bone, suggest some stuff for me, suggest some stuff that we both could watch that maybe we haven't seen. As usual, thanks for being here. We love you all, and we'll see you on the next
All right, thanks for
broadcast.
being on the show.
Thank you.